What's good? What's good? Welcome, man. Y'all get on in here. Get on in here. Let's talk the facts. We're gonna be talking about the fact that you could be doing have anything you desire. We're gonna be talking about the fact that your only limit in life is your own imagination. If you could think it, you could do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. We're gonna be talking about how to take the thoughts out of your head, how to take the desires out of your heart, and take them into something you could taste, touch, feel, hear, and see. We're gonna be talking manifesting. We're gonna be talking creating. We're gonna be talking entrepreneurship. We're gonna be talking about creating the life that you want. If that sounds exciting to you, you're gonna want to stick around. If that sounds exciting with you, you're gonna want to start TAPing on the screen. You're gonna want to kick it with us. If you got dreams in your life that you're not yet living, pull up a chair, get comfortable. Let's talk about it. If you got ideas in your head that you want to turn into real stuff, pull up a chair. Let's talk about it. If you could think it, if you can get an image of it in your head, you can do it. And that's exactly what we're about to get ready to unpack. We finna talk about how. How do I take my ideas and turn them into something tangible? How do I take an idea for a business and turn it into a business? How do I take a desire for a relationship and turn it into a relationship? How do I take a desire for my body to look different and get me to the gym, get me eating different? That's what we're going to be talking about. How to turn your thoughts into things. Because look around, make no mistake, everything out there was a thought before it was a thing. It ain't nothing you can point to that wasn't a thought. There wasn't a thought before it was a thing. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to remind you that if you can think it, you could do it. If you could think success, you could do success. If you could think confidence, you could do confidence. If you could think entrepreneur, you could do entrepreneur. But at the same time, if you think failure, you're gonna do failure. If you think procrastination, you're gonna procrastinate. If you think I can't do it, you won't do it. Your thoughts create your thinking. Your thoughts create your reality. And you got to start thinking on purpose. If you ever want to be successful, you got to start thinking on purpose. You got to get in the habit of telling your thoughts what to think and telling your feelings what to feel. And as impossible as that may feel sometimes, it's very possible. Your body, your endocrine system, your nervous system isn't reacting to reality. It's reacting to your story that you tell it about reality. And if you want to change your life, you got to change your story. If you want a new life, you got to come up with a new narrative. You got to start telling the story about your abundance. You got to start telling the story about your wealth. You got to start telling the story about your success if you ever want to experience it. Because the fact of the matter is, you got to hold it in your head before you can hold it in your hands. And if you don't ever learn how to hold it in your head, you'll never learn how to hold it in your hands. If you could think it, you could do it. Can't think it, you can't do it. Your only limit in life is your imagination. What's up? Your only limit in life is your imagination. Nothing else. The economy can't stop you. The weather can't stop you. A death in your family can't stop you. A diagnosis can't stop you. Depression can't stop you. Anxiety can't stop you. Now, you can look at those things. You can put your attention on those things and decide to quit. But make no mistake, it didn't stop you. You quit. It didn't physically overcome you and say, hey, you can't take another step forward. You quit. And if you're tired of starting over, you gotta quit quitting. You got to keep going. You got to learn how to see something in your mind. Keep staring at it. Keep seeing it in your mind. I'm telling you, if you think about it long enough, if you think about it often enough, you'll start to do it on accident. If you could just start thinking entrepreneurship from where you at, I don't care if it feel out of reach right now. If you could just start thinking about it, you will accidentally start picking up books about it. You will accidentally start listening to podcasts about it. You will accidentally start finding TikToks about it. You will accidentally get you a mentor. You will accidentally start taking the steps, start toward creating a business. Now, if you won't even entertain the thought, if soon as the thought come up, you go, too bad that'll never happen. Too bad I don't know nobody who do that. If you never let the thought pick up momentum, you'll never create the money. You'll never create the circumstances. You'll never start to attract the people in your life who can help it happen. But if you just willing to start entertaining the thought, I'm telling you, you'll start meeting people on accident. I'm telling you, if you start thinking on purpose, you could be successful on accident. If you start thinking on purpose, you can attract success on accident. You got to realize where the mind goes, the body follows. If you send the mind to success, don't worry, the body right behind it. If you send the mind to depression, don't worry, the body is right behind it. If you send the mind to confidence, if you send the mind to motivation, don't worry, the body right behind it. But if you send the mind to procrastination, if you send the mind to fear, doubt, and anxiety, don't worry, the body is right behind it. If you can think it, you're going to do it. If you think it, you do it. That works in both directions. That works towards what you want and towards what you don't want. You got to understand that a belief is nothing but a thought that you kept practicing. That's all a belief is. A belief is a thought that you kept practicing. A belief is a thought that you thought over and over and over and over and over again. What are some things that would benefit you to believe about yourself? What's one or two beliefs that if you believe them about yourself, you could change your entire life? One or two beliefs can change everything. I want you to start picking your beliefs on purpose. You got to realize you are not an accident. Stop living like an accident. Get you some goals. You can't get what you want until you know what you want. 98% of people 98% of people are living life from under the influence of what they don't want. And because they live in life from under the influence of what they don't want, guess what they keep getting? What they don't want. Become one of the 2%. Become one of the people who look at life and go, I don't like that. I'll rather have this. And whatever this is, start focusing on it. Start making decisions, not necessarily based on things that get you away from what you don't want. Start making decisions to put you closer to where you want to be. Stop making decisions based on what you don't want. Stop making decisions based on what you're running from. Stop picking your new job based on what you don't like about your old job. Stop picking your new relationship based on what you don't like about your old relationship. Pick your next relationship based off of what you want in a relationship. Pick your next job based off of what you want in a job. But you can't do that until you take the time to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what do I want? Not what's being marketed to me. Not what culture tells me I should want. Not what everybody else want. What do I want? My whole life changed when I started asking myself, what do I want? What do I want? Not what I think I can have, not what I gotta do. What do I want? And even if you can't reach it from right here, right now, just by getting clear about what you want, you don't understand how you will accidentally start moving towards it. Y'all, those of you who know my work, I teach these things called the 5 C's. That first C is clarity, because you can't get what you want until you know what you want. Imagine getting in a taxi, but the only thing you know is where you don't want to go. So you in the back of a taxi telling the driver, man, don't take me to the mall. I hate the mall. Don't take me to church. I don't trust those preachers, man, taking them people money. Don't take me to the post office. I'm not trying to mail nothing. You in the back of the taxi giving the driver a list of places you don't want to go. That sounds foolish, doesn't it? But that's how a lot of people go through life. I can't stand this job. They up here treat me any type of way. They overwork me, underpay me. They make me work holidays. The insurance plans suck. I hate this job. What do you want? I don't like my relationship. I don't trust this person. They treat me any type of way. This is not a team. They not caring it. What do you want? What do you want? I know you know what you don't want. My 4-year-old know what he don't want. My 11-year-olds know what they don't want. My dog know what he don't want. You are a human. You got this front 40% of the lobe of the brain, this frontal lobe, this mammalian brain. You got a part of your brain that can look at solutions and separate from the solution and say, what would I rather have? What would I rather have? I want you to stop using your imagination to create anxiety and depression. I want you to start using your imagination to figure out solutions, to figure out what you want. Start imagining yourself as the person you want to be and watch how you accidentally start morphing into that person. Start imagining yourself as the type of father you want to be. Start imagining yourself as the type of man you want to be. Start imagining yourself as the type of woman you want to be, as the type of wife you want to be, as the type of mom you want to be. And watch how you accidentally start morphing into that person. Stop beating yourself up. You know what you did wrong. You know what you could have did better. You know what you didn't do right. You know the things that if you had to do over again, you would do them different. Start getting in your imagination and imagining yourself as the version of yourself that can do them different. And watch how you accidentally start becoming that person. You don't got to use willpower. Well, you got to use willpower, but you don't got to use willpower to control your body. You got to use willpower to control your mind. You got to use willpower to say, I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to think about this. You gotta use willpower to say, I'm not gonna entertain thoughts that depress me. I'm gonna entertain thoughts that excite me. You gotta use willpower to say, I know this is what I usually do. I usually get on the phone and talk to my friends about stuff that I don't like. I'm gonna use my willpower to change the subject. I'm gonna use my willpower to control my mood. When you use your willpower to control your mind, bro, I'm telling you, you don't gotta use willpower to control your body, because you'll wanna go to the gym. You'll want to work on your business. You'll want to eat a certain way. You'll want to read certain books and go to certain places because You transformed your mind. The Bible says, don't be conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to discipline your mind. You got to clean up your mind. You trying to clean up your life when the only thing you got to clean up is your mind. You trying to balance your checkbook when the only thing you got to balance is your mind. You trying to fix your business when the only thing broke is your mind. You got to realize that every problem is a thinking problem. I don't care what the problem. I don't care if you want to make your body look different. I don't care if you want to make your marriage look different. I don't care if you want your relationship with your children look different. Change the way you think. You'll change your life on accident. Much gratitude for coming across your page. Followed your YouTube and been tuning in since. Thanks for the follows. And we pushing out a lot of content over there. Y'all tap in, man. Y'all tap in. We finna start pushing out some exclusive stuff over there. Guys, I'm telling you, if you can think it, you can do it. Hear me when I say this. If you can think it, you can do it. My background is in clinical hypnosis. So quit smoking, weight loss, PTSD, anxiety. I want to quit smoking. I want to quit drinking. All of this stuff. As I helped all these people achieve all these different things, I realized every problem is a thinking problem. And my job isn't to fix people. My job is to ask people, what do you need to be thinking? Help them learn how to think that. And if they start thinking the right type of thoughts, they'll take the right actions on accident. When you watch a sad movie, you ain't got to try to be sad. Just watch the sad movie. What's the YouTube? The YouTube is I Coach Bosses. We just changed it. It used to be Creators Create. I just upgraded it. Everything is I Coach Bosses. iCoachBosses.com, I Coach Bosses TikTok, I Coach Bosses. Everything is I Coach Bosses. If you could think it, you can do it. You can't think it, you got a problem. You can't think it, you got a problem. But the good news is you can think it. Are you willing to stop thinking what you've been thinking so you can start thinking what you need to think to create the life that you want? For sure, yes, man. Are you willing? Like, you got to understand that working on the problem is not the same thing as working on the solution. And some people so busy working on the problem that they ain't leaving no time to work on the solution. Stop working on the problem. Stop focusing on the problem. Stop getting on the phone talking about the problem. Stop getting on TikTok watching videos about the problem. Stop joining support groups where y'all talk about the problem. What do you want? The Bible say you have not because you ask not. The Bible say seek and ye shall find. The Bible say knock and the door shall be open. If you working on the problem, when do you have time for the solution? You got to realize, first off, that you can't solve a problem from the same frequency that you created it at. You got to rise above the version of you that created the problem to solve the problem. Stop working on the problem. Take your attention off the problem. Look at the problem. Appreciate you, Jade. Look at the problem and ask yourself, what would I rather have? This is the question that's going to change your life. It's not a guru that's going to change your life. It's not a mentor that's going to change your life. It's not a therapist that's going to change your life. It's not none of that's going to change your life. What's going to change your life is you asking yourself, what would I rather have, and starting to focus on it. Doing what I call calibrating. Think about it. When you calibrate to a funny movie, you ain't got to try to laugh. Just calibrate to the movie. When you calibrate to a sad movie, you ain't got to try to feel sad. Just calibrate to the movie. If you calibrate to a love story, you ain't got to try to get butterflies. Just calibrate to the story. But when you calibrate to what you don't want, you thinking about not enough money, you thinking about sickness, you thinking about lack, you ain't got to try to feel overwhelmed. You ain't got to try to feel like you can't do it. You don't got to try to feel unconfident. That's what happens when you calibrate to what you don't want. But when you say, I don't like that, what would I rather have? Well, I'd rather have this. And you put your attention on this. You don't got to try to feel motivated. You don't got to try to feel confident. You don't got to try to feel inspired. You don't got to try to feel creative. That's what happens when you put your attention on what you want. Your problem is not that you're broken. Your problem is not that you're not smart. Your problem is not that you can't do it. Your problem is you spending more time thinking about what you don't want than you are spending thinking about what you would rather have. And when you learn how to put your attention on what you want and run what I call the 5 C's: clarity, calibration, confidence, competence, and consistency, run that success strategy, man, you'll surprise yourself what you could do. Let me tell you that your 2025 don't gotta look anything like your 2024 unless you keep thinking the same thoughts that you was thinking in 2024. Now, if you don't change your focus, if your focus is still the same focus that you had in 2024, you're gonna have the same outcome in 2025. But you will change your 2025 on accident if you change your focus on purpose. If you change the things you think about, if you change the things you focus on, If you change what you're giving your attention to, if you stop giving your attention to the problem and start giving your attention to the solution, oh man, good ideas will find you. Good mentors will find you. Good business partners will find you. Good customers will find you. You got to understand, when you learn how to control your focus, you learn how to control your energy. You be trying to directly control your energy. You don't naturally control your energy. Your energy follows your focus. Where the mind goes, the body follows. But when you become the type of person who can go, I'm not going to focus on that because I don't like the way it makes me feel. I'm going to focus on this because I like the way it makes me feel. Man, people want to do business with you. People want to date you. People want to hang out with you. People want to be around you because it feels good to be around someone who knows how to control their focus. Most people don't know how to control their focus. What's going on, Zakeem? Most people don't know how to tap into their bag unless it's certain. They need this to be this way, that to be that way, and that to be that way before they can be happy. They need this to be that way, that to be that way, that to be that way before they can show up confident. They need this person to be in the White House. They need this person to be in Congress. They need this perfect set of circumstances before they can step into their bag. Listen, I need you to get clear about what you want. Lock into what you want and become confident in what you want. When you become confident in what you want, it's not going to matter if it's 8 people in your life or 8,000 people in your life. You still going to be the same version of yourself. Because when you calibrate it to what you want, guess what you're not calibrated to? How many people in the room? When you confident in what you want, guess what you don't need to make you feel good? You don't need people patting you on the back to make you feel good. You feel good because of what you focused on. Now, if you focused on what you don't want, then somebody started cheering for you. You take your focus off of what you don't want. Of course, you feel better because you just took your focus off of what you don't want and put your attention on somebody who's cheering for you. So that helps you to feel better. But if you already calibrated to the outcome you want, you already calibrated to the amount of money you want in the bank account, you already calibrated to how you want your body to look, you already calibrated to the lifestyle that you want, even though it hasn't happened yet, you already calibrated to it. You already fixated on it. You already focused on it. Because I'm already focused on what I want. It don't matter if you cheering for me or rooting for me or booing me. I'm not calibrated to you. It don't matter if you excited about my idea or not excited about my idea, because I wasn't calibrated to you to start with. Stop calibrating to your friends. Stop calibrating to your family. Stop calibrating to the stock market. All of that stuff is up and down and up and down. I'm not saying that stuff that doesn't matter, but I'm saying you should be calibrated to your outcome. You should be calibrated to your outcome. I've been studying hypnosis, NLP, and influence and why we do what we do for 2 decades. And one of the things that we understand about influence is step 1 to influencing anything or anybody is knowing what outcome I want. I can't begin to influence anything until I know what outcome I want. And if that's true for me to influence somebody outside of myself, that's equally true when it comes to me influencing me. Like when I tell people I teach mind control, they think I'm gonna teach them how to control somebody else's mind. Let me tell you something. I could teach you how to control somebody else's mind, but when you learn how to control you, you don't really need to control anybody else. When you can make you go to the gym when you say you're gonna go to the gym, when you can make you eat a certain way, when you can say, hey, I'm gonna read this book, I don't care how long it takes, I'm gonna finish this book, I'm not gonna put this book down till I understand what's in these pages. When you can make you do that, you don't need to make nobody else do anything. The mind that you got to learn how to control is your own. If you can think it, you can do it. Can't think it, can't do it. Step 1 to doing anything is being able to think it. And the good news is you can think it, but you got to understand when you first start thinking it, it might be uncomfortable. But you got to learn how to stop seeing uncomfortable as a sign to quit and seeing uncomfortable as a sign that you're growing, as a sign that you're developing, as a sign that you're becoming more. When you first start thinking that thought, you don't have the neural structure in place. You don't have the neural pathways. There's the neural cluster isn't there. But every time you think that thought, you got to understand your brain is firing off thousands of neurons, strengthening that connection. Every time you think that thought, good or bad, your brain is strengthening that connection. Your brain is putting more electricity across those receptors. Keep thinking the thought. Keep thinking the thought. I remember being in the military. I hated being in the military. Couldn't grow my beard, couldn't wear my nose ring, couldn't wear my earrings, couldn't grow my hair. I do all those things now, but when I was in the military, I couldn't do those things. I couldn't live where I wanted to live. I couldn't make as much money as I wanted to make. I had all of these limitations. And at first, I would find other people in the military who didn't like being in the military, and we would sit down and talk about how we didn't like being in the military. We would be on leave talking about how we didn't like to be in the military. We would be off work, could be doing anything else, talking about how we didn't like being in the military, how we couldn't wait to get out of the military. But man, my whole life started changing when I say, I don't like this. I want to be my own boss. I want freedom. I want choice. I want to make as much money as I want to make. I want to grow my beard. I want to wear my nose ring. I want to grow my hair. I want to wear what I want to wear. I want to live what I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a hypnotist. I want to teach people how to use their mind. I want to help people achieve their wildest dreams. I want to coach bosses. I want to remind people who the hell they are. My whole life changed when I just started talking about what I wanted. I didn't say when I went back to school. I didn't say when I made my first pile of money. I didn't say when I met the perfect partner. My whole life changed when I started talking about what I wanted. I started making new friends on accident. I started finding new interests on accident. Yo, this is my original copy of Think and Grow Rich. I started reading this shortly after I started talking about what I wanted. Shortly after I started talking about what I wanted, I started reading this book. But if I would have came across this same book when I was under the influence of what I didn't want, I wouldn't have read it. I wouldn't have read it. None of my friends was reading it. None of the people I was talking to was reading it. None of the people I was discussing life with were reading it. I wouldn't have read it. But it was something about this new version of me. When I came across this, it just felt like something that this version of me should read. It just felt like a match. And I didn't have to use willpower to read it. I couldn't put it down. I didn't have to make myself read it. This version of me that was under the influence of what I wanted, this version of me that wanted to be an entrepreneur, this version of me that wanted to coach people, this version of me that wanted to influence people, this version of me that wanted to understand the subconscious mind, I didn't have to make myself read psychocybernetics. I wanted to read psychocybernetics. Now, the old version of me, the version of me that was talking about what I didn't want, the version of me that was wrapped up in what I didn't want, wouldn't have read this book. But when I started thinking different, I couldn't put this book down. You trying to use willpower to change your life. You don't got to use willpower to change your life. You don't got to use willpower to control your body. You don't got to force yourself to read those books. You don't got to force yourself to learn about marketing or to not eat carbs. Whatever your goal is, you don't got to force yourself to take the steps. What you got to do is force your mind to start focusing on the things that's going to make you do that naturally. When you watch a funny movie, you don't force yourself to laugh. You just watch the movie and your body responds to the movie you watching. You follow me? When you watch, let's say you watch an erotic film, you don't got to force your body to activate and turn on. Your body responds to what you're focusing on. But when you focusing on what you don't like, when you focusing on things that make you anxious, you don't got to try to feel anxious. Just keep focusing on things that make you anxious. When you focusing on things that push you into fight or flight and make you procrastinate, you don't got to try to procrastinate. That's the natural result of what you focusing on. When you focus on things that make you sad and things that depress you, you don't got to try to feel sad. Just keep focusing on what you're focusing on, and sadness will provide itself. But if you start focusing on your goals, if you start focusing on what you want, if you start focusing on the version of yourself that you desire to be, you don't got to try to feel confident. Just keep focusing on it. You don't got to try to feel inspired. Good ideas will find you. You don't got to try to feel creative. You will literally be in the shower trying to wash your body. You'll get a good idea out of nowhere. You'll literally be driving down the road and you'll get a good idea out of nowhere. Guys, all of these businesses, creators create. I coach bosses, dreams in action. I coach coaches. I coach Dallas, Big Abundant Living Coaching and Hypno. All of these brands, all of these businesses, successful stoners. I wasn't trying to create this stuff. I got under the influence of what I want, and good ideas start finding me. It's just like when you upset, it don't take very much for you to notice other things that piss you off, because that's what you under the influence of. So when I was under the influence of not wanting to be in the military, all I was noticing is, see, this is another reason I don't like this. Now look, they got me deploying again. Look, now they got this. Now I got. As I was under the influence that, I kept noticing things that put me deeper under the influence of that. That's how the law of attraction worked. But as I started thinking about stuff that was seemingly impossible at the time, but as I started thinking about it, good ideas started finding me. Man, your next deployment, what if you just loaded up on courses? What if you just loaded up on courses, read all those books, took them with you the next time you deploy? You can think about how much time you had to study when you deploy. What if you start spending your time that you'll usually spend complaining, playing ping pong, and playing spades? What if you start using that time to, this ain't nothing I had to make myself do. This new version of me wanted to do that. Give yourself permission to start becoming this new version of yourself. You want to build a website tomorrow. You want to start the business tomorrow. Listen, those of you who know my 5C process, you know that we don't even take action until we get to step 4. The first 3 steps of the 5C process is about becoming. The first 3 steps to the 5C process is about changing the way you think so that you could change the way you feel. And when you change the way you think and change the way you feel, guess what? You will act different on accident. You trying to act different on purpose. You don't got to act different on purpose. You got to change the way you think on purpose. If you change the way you think on purpose, you'll act different on accident. New thinking is going to give birth to new action. New thinking is going to give birth to new. Think about it. When you pissed off, you don't got to try to tell people off and put people in their place and run off at the mouth. That's what happens when you feel pissed off. But then when you done feeling pissed off and you not feeling pissed off, you go like, dang, I really be doing too much. I got to go apologize. But when you felt pissed off, it was in your nature to curse people. It was in your nature to run off at the mouth. What if we could get you feeling successful? What if we can get you feeling successful? Despite what the bank accounts say right now. Forget what the calendar look like right now. Forget what your reputation is out there right now. What if I could get you feeling successful? When you start feeling successful, guess what? You're going to start entertaining successful ideas. Now, when you don't feel successful, you can get a really successful idea, but you're going to go, man, too bad. That'll never happen. The key to, listen, you got to realize that the manifestation happens in here before it happens out there. Not too long ago, we looked up the word manifest. Do y'all remember what the word manifest mean when we looked it up? The word manifest, it doesn't mean hope. It doesn't mean wish for. The word manifest means to make clear or obvious to the mind. That's all it means. It means to make clear or obvious to the mind. What are you making clear and obvious to your mind right here and right now? Are you making your abundance and your wealth and your prosperity obvious to your mind? Or are you making your lack, your doubt, your fear and your anxiety obvious to the mind? What are you focusing on? Because guys, I'm telling you, I keep saying this over and over again because it's true. What's up, Jeff? If you can think it, you'll do it on accident. If you think it long enough and hard enough and repetitiously enough, you'll start doing it on accident. And what you got to understand is everything we talk about works in both directions. Like a lot of times people talk about faith and the law of attraction as if it only works toward what you want. No, it works in both ways. If you think anxious thoughts, you're going to get anxious. If you think successful thoughts, you're going to feel successful. Your body follows your mind. Your body follows your mind. So stop trying to force your body to go into places that you haven't yet sent your mind. Stop trying to force your body to go into places that you haven't sent your mind. I love Napoleon Hill. I got several copies of Think and Grow Rich. This is my original copy of Think and Grow Rich. But guys, I'm telling you, if you can think it, you could do it. Thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become reality. Look around. You can't find anything that was a thing before it was a thought. This hat right here, my I Coach Boss's hat, was an idea in my head before it was a hat that I could put on my head. The outfit that I got on right now, I had to see it in my mind before I could put it on my body. The money in my bank account had to exist in my mind before it could exist in my bank account. When I go into my office, it's all type of degrees and certificates and diplomas on the wall. Guess what? I had to put that information in here before it could be something on my wall. But this is where it get interesting when we talk about stuff like manifesting. Those degrees on my wall don't certify me. They represent that I'm certified. That money in that bank account don't make me rich. It represents that I am rich. My office could burn down. The degree could be burnt. If my degree physically burns and I don't have a degree anymore, does that decertify me? Nope, because the certification doesn't certify me. It represents that I'm certified. The certification is a representation of a change that happened in here. So I got something I can hang on my wall, but that thing that I hang on my wall is not my certification. It represents a change that happened in here. It represents information that's stored inside of here. It represents what the naked eye can't see. So I got this thing that I hang on my wall that represents the transformation that happened inside of me. So if I'm waiting on a piece of paper to certify me, that's not how it works. If you waiting on money in the bank before you become rich in here, if you get rich in here, the money at the bank got to show up. If you get wealthy in here, the money got to show up. But if you waiting on money to show up in the bank account before you say, okay, I'm wealthy now, I tell my professional athletes all the time, you don't get a trophy and then become a champion. What happens is you become a champion. And when you become a champion, guess what got to show up? What's going on, Rain? If you just become a champion, every champion has a trophy. But if you waiting on the trophy before you say, okay, now I'm a champion, no, in the regular season, you got to start practicing like a champion. You got to start eating like a champion. You got to start sleeping like a champion. You got to start holding your teammates accountable like a champion. You got to tie your shoes like a champion. You got to eat your breakfast like a champion. You got to lift weights like a champion. You can't wait on the playoff game to become a champion. That's foolish. And if you waiting on the trophy to become a champion, but you competing against somebody who's already in the mindset of champion, oh man, they finna wipe the floor with you. Everything is built from the inside out. Nothing is built from the outside in. It will collapse on itself. Where the mind goes, the body follows. So you could win the lottery, but if you don't send your mind to wealth, if you don't send your mind to millionaire, watch how quick you do everything in your power to separate yourself from that body. From that money. You got to align to that frequency. You got to align to your... Jay, how do I change my frequency? Change what you're thinking. Change what you're focusing on. I need you to understand that confidence is a mindset. Confidence is an idea. Wealth is a way of thinking. Rich is a way of thinking. Now, that way of thinking produces this thing called money. It produces this thing called valuable relationships. But without the mindset, you don't got anything for the money to stick to. I don't care what you want to do. The first thing you got to do is you got to start thinking about it. You got to start conditioning your mind for it. You got to start creating a neural cluster in your brain for it. You got to realize that thinking is literally your brain in action. If you go plant a seed in the ground, you got to understand that seed is going to grow downward before it grows upward. It's going to develop its root system before it starts developing branches, trunks, and leaves. It needs that root system to sustain the rest of the tree. That root system is what gives life to the rest of the tree. So from the surface, you might go, man, this thing not even growing. Whole time underground, it's developing the foundation. And the interesting thing about root systems is the root systems look a lot like the nerves inside of your brain. It look a lot like neural pathways. When you first plant a seed in your mind, you got to understand that the seed gonna change you before it change the world. When you first plant wealth in your mind, it got to develop those patterns in your mind or in your brain before it change your bank account. When you're doing affirmations, the affirmation is not gonna change the world. The affirmation is gonna change you. When you praying, the prayer not gonna change the world. The prayer is gonna change you. The prayer not gonna make the situation lighter. It's gonna make you stronger. So you got to stop measuring if it's working based on what's happening out there. It's going to work in here before it works out there. And the working in here is going to change you. The economy going to do what the economy doing. But when I'm manifesting wealth in my life, it's not going to change the economy. It's going to change me. And I'm going to show up to that same economy, but I'm in that same economy thinking different. I'm in that same economy, different me. Same economy, different me. Same dating pool, different me. Instead of calibrating to, man, it ain't no more good women out here. They all gold diggers. I'm not gonna calibrate to the dating pool. The dating pool gonna calibrate to my smart, successful, sexy, confident ass. Like, I'm not gonna calibrate to a recession. I'm gonna force what's going on out there to calibrate to my resourceful, creative, intelligent self. So stop trying to change that. Stop trying to change your boss. Stop trying to change your spouse. Stop trying to change your children. Change you. What version of myself do I need to become to where they ain't got to change a thing and I'm still going to be happy? And the way that I teach people how to do that is through what we call the 5C process. What time is it? I got a meeting at 6:30. Okay, we good. Y'all want to get into the 5 C's? Let's talk about the 5 C's. The first C is clarity. Somebody put clarity in the chat for me. The reason that the first C is clarity is because I can't get what I want until I know what I want. I cannot hit a target that don't exist. Appreciate you. Let's pin that. I got to know what I want. I told y'all earlier in the live, 98% of people don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. They know what they don't want, but you got to understand that knowing what you don't want is not the same thing as knowing what you want. You got to understand that not wanting to lose is not the same thing as having a burning desire to win. If we compete and I don't want to lose. You under the influence of not wanting to lose, and I'm under the influence of dominating. I'm under the influence of running it up. I'm under the influence of coming as hard as I can and winning. I'm about to wipe the floor with you. You got to understand that not wanting to be poor is not the same thing as having a burning desire for wealth, having a burning desire for riches. You got to understand that not wanting to be sick is not the same thing as having a burning desire to be healthy. So most people, they know what they don't want, but they haven't asked the magic question, what would I rather have? That's what the first C is all about, clarity. It's not about what you think is possible. It's not about what qualifications do you have. It's not about how to make it happen. It's simply about answering the question, what do I want? When I was in the military, I didn't have clarity about what I wanted. But when I got, man, I want to be my own boss. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a hypnotherapist. I want to teach people how to work their minds. I want to remind people they could be, do, and have anything that they desire. And I want to convince them that they could do it. I want to get them taking action. When I got clarity, now I'm ready to go to step 2. I know what I want. Now, after I know what I want, the second C is calibration. Calibration in the comments for me. And if you guys haven't hit that follow button, go ahead and hit that, man. Tap in with us. The second C is calibration. Now, calibration is about putting my attention on what I want. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let me pin that to the top. Now, once I know what I want, I got to start calibrating to what I want. Think about calibration. When you calibrate to a funny movie, what happens? You laugh. You don't got to try to laugh. You ain't got to force yourself to laugh. Just calibrate to a funny movie. If you calibrate to a sad movie, you ain't got to try to feel sad. You ain't got to want to feel sad. Just put your attention on the movie and watch how you calibrate to it. If you calibrate to a love story, you ain't got to try to get butterflies. Just calibrate to the movie. If you come in here and I'm really popping my shit and I'm really in my bag and I'm flowing and I'm motivated and I'm inspired and I didn't really got going, you ain't got to try to feel confident. Just calibrate to what we talking about. Just join in on the conversation. Same thing will happen when you get clear about what you want and you start calibrating to it. When you get clear about what you want and you put your attention on it, you gonna accidentally roll them shoulders back, post that chest out, and put your chin up. You're gonna accidentally become confident. You're gonna accidentally become inspired. You're gonna accidentally start feeling like you could do it. Because for the first time in your life, possibly, you're not focusing on what you don't want. You calibrate to what you do want. Most people are calibrated to what they don't want. When somebody come to me and say, hey man, I want to quit smoking. I say, what do you want? I just told you I want to quit smoking. No, that's what you want to not do. What do you want to do? I don't know what you mean. What do you want? I just told you I want to quit. No, what do you want? You don't want to quit smoking. If you want to quit smoking, you wouldn't be smoking. Oh, well, I want to live. I want to be able to take nice, deep breaths. I want to smell good instead of smelling like a freight train. I got a 3-year-old daughter. One day she going to get married. I want to be here to walk her down the aisle. I want to be healthy. That's what you want. While you under the influence of quit smoking, you don't want to quit smoking. You want to smoke. You enjoy smoking. That's not going to help you quit. In order to quit, this is how we help somebody. This is how I make somebody quit smoking in an hour. It's not, well, it's hypnosis, but hypnosis is about understanding how humans are naturally suggestible. If you give them the right suggestions, they'll take the right actions. That's all hypnosis is knowing how to talk to people to get them leaning toward what they want instead of leaning towards what they don't want. And if you do like entertainment hypnosis, you getting their mind on what you want to happen and off of what you don't want to happen. Where the mind goes, the body follows. If I send your mind to fear, your body gonna resemble fear. If I send your mind to success, your body's gonna follow. But calibration is all about feeding the story that you want into your subconscious mind. Because the thing about the subconscious mind is calibration equals alignment. Calibration is getting in alignment with what you want. But in order to get in alignment with what you want, you got to get out of alignment with what you don't want. And most people have spent their entire life in alignment with what they don't want. It's like it's like introducing it to your nervous system. It's like developing the thought system. Because you got to understand, thoughts require an infrastructure in the brain. It's like, I've been coaching a lot of new entrepreneurs lately. We spent this year coaching a lot of entrepreneurs, and a lot of them were newer entrepreneurs. But you ever heard somebody trying to speak entrepreneurship that don't know how to speak entrepreneur? You tell them like, okay, well, your funnel sucks. You don't got any type of lead generation. You need a value ladder. They don't know what a value ladder is, and they don't know what lead generation is. They don't know what a funnel is. I'm giving them the keys, but they don't got the infrastructure to support the ideas that I'm giving them. They don't got the vocabulary. They don't got the vernacular to even though I'm giving them the answer, they don't even got the structure. They don't have the knowledge to support the answer. So when you first start trying to manifest wealth, but you don't got the neural infrastructure, you don't got the wiring to support this thought, you got to start developing the wiring. And calibration is about developing that wiring. Calibration is about putting my attention on the part that I do understand, letting that crystallize, then letting that understanding grow. Because good ideas give birth to good ideas, they give birth to other good ideas, they give birth to other good ideas. It's like, you ever got mad at your partner? You got mad at your partner for one reason, but as you got calibrated to that anger, you go, and another thing. And last week you did this, and you went over the budget last month, and I told you, yeah. And as the deeper you calibrate, the more stuff you remember they did. The more stuff, the more pissed off you got. That's what calibrating looks like. It's like focusing on it, and although it might start this big, if I just keep focusing on it, it's gonna get this big. And if I just keep focusing on it, it's gonna get this big. If I just keep putting my attention on it, it's gonna get this big. So calibration is about, like, when I first was in the military and I didn't want to be in the military, I didn't instantly go, yo, I want to be a clinically trained hypnotherapist. I want to work with high performers. It started out as, I want freedom. I want choice. I want to live where I want to live. Why do somebody else get to tell me where I got to live? I want to wear what I want to wear. I'm tired of wearing camouflage. I want to wear what I want to wear. That's me calibrating. I want to wear what I want. I want to do what I want to do. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. Yeah, I want to work for myself. You see, as I calibrate, the details start to fall in. As I get more clear, the ideas start finding me. That makes sense? So calibration is about just putting your attention on it. And as you put your attention on it, as you keep calibrating, you're going to accidentally go into the third C. The third C is confidence. Somebody put confidence in the comments for me. So we started off with clarity. I can't get what I want until I know what I want. I got to get clear about what I want. That's clarity. After I know what I want, calibration. I got to start calibrating to what I want. Calibration can look like doing affirmations. Calibration can look like journaling. Calibration can look like scripting. Calibration can look like working with a hypnotist like me and helping you to get that story worked into every cell and every fiber of your being. There's several ways to calibrate. Let me show you some ways that you calibrate on accident. You ever had something happen at work that you don't like? And you barely out of the building before you get on the phone calling your homegirl. Let me tell you what they did today. They really got me fucked up here at this little job. They look I ain't quit. So keep in mind, I was supposed to be off today, right? And they called me in and I came. You calibrate. It happened 3 hours ago. You still thinking about it. You replaying it in your head. You telling the story. That's calibrating. You go home that night, you write in your journal, I can't stand this job. I hate this job. That's calibrating. It's not actively happening right now, but you putting your mind on it. You reacting to something that's in the past. You reacting to something that at this point only exists in your imagination. That's calibrating. You on TikTok and you finding skits that remind you of the situation you got that you don't like, and you send it to your friend. Who this remind you of? This is me right here. That's calibrating. So you see how easy calibration is? You do it on accident all day long. That's why you can't leave that relationship, because you calibrated to it. That's why you can't leave that job, because you calibrated to it. That's why you can't stop procrastinating and start going in this direction, because you calibrated to this thing that you don't like over here. Stop calibrating to that. Start calibrating to this. And watch how you quit that job on accident. Watch how you get fired on purpose, on accident. When I started calibrating, my commander called me into his office. Not my first sergeant, not my sergeant, not my first shirt. My commander called me into his office and said, hey, you don't want to be here, do you? I said, respectfully, no, sir. He said, sign this. Sign this. I was a civilian like 2 months later. As I calibrated, and letting my energy say that you can deploy me and I was going to act right. I wasn't being disrespectful. I was doing my job. I was doing the bare minimum. But it was the way I was carrying myself. I had transformed into an entrepreneur. The military don't want entrepreneurs. The military wants soldiers. So when I decalibrated from soldier and calibrated entrepreneur, they say, get him out of here. He gonna start influencing other people into get him out of here. What did he do? He didn't do nothing wrong, but he ain't doing nothing. Get him out of here. He's not of the mindset that we need him to shut up and color. We need him to shut up and color. We don't need him thinking. We don't need him influencing. What are he doing on the weekends now? Why is he doing all that on the weekend? How much money is he? What is he doing? He got a cleaning company. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. So I got out early, honorable discharge, got to keep all my benefits, wasn't in trouble. They just like, yo, you're not calibrated to what we need you. We need you calibrated to yes, sir, no, sir. And you calibrated to doing your own thing. You didn't do anything wrong. You can get an honorable discharge. Just get out of here. Cool. So that's what calibration is about. When you get calibrated, you ain't got to break up with them. They're going to break up with you because you're not as easy to push around as you used to be. When you start calibrating, you ain't got to quit. They'll fire you. When you start calibrating, you ain't gotta cut off your toxic friend. Your toxic friend gonna cut you off. Because on nothing your energy, like the old you used to play with, you used to be able to play with the old you. But this new version of you, the way you walk in the room, the way you stand, the way you exist, you ain't got to tell people that they can't play in your face because your energy said it for you. That's the power of calibrating. If my grandmother calls me, before I answer the phone, I'm going to take a few quick seconds to calibrate. I'm going to say, yo, I want to talk to my grandmother for about 15 minutes. And in that 15 minutes, I want to make sure she feels loved. I want her to know I love her to death. And I appreciate every sacrifice she ever made for me, but I want to do that in 15 minutes. I want to accomplish that in 15 minutes because I got other stuff I got to do. I'm going to take a few seconds to calibrate them and say, hey, baby, what's going on? She's going to say, hey, Granny, just wanted to hear your voice. What you got going on? I'm going to tell Granny what I got going on. I'm going to say, well, how your day going? What you up to, lady? Oh, yeah, you in shopping? How that's going? How so-and-so doing? Yeah. Okay. And about 15 minutes in, she's going to say, well, baby, Granny, just wanted to hear your voice. I know you're busy. I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to say, all right, baby, love you. She's going to say, I love you more. And we're going to get off the phone. Now, if I answer that phone without calibrating, Granny going to keep me on the phone all day. It's either going to go one or two ways. She either going to keep me on the phone all day or I'm going to have to have that awkward, well, all right, Granny, I got a session coming up, so I got to go. When you take time to calibrate, you don't got to have them awkward conversations. Something in your energy say, hey, I got stuff to do. If you work in business, if you're an entrepreneur, you work in sales, if you properly calibrated, you ain't. When somebody comes to a consultation with me, we don't even talk money. I say, well, tell me what's going on. How can I help? They tell me what's going on. They tell me how I can help. I say, okay, cool. That's easy. You saying you're doing X, Y, Z. You want to stop there to start doing X, Y, Z? Oh, yeah, this is easy. This is going to be easy fix. What we're going to do is we're going to get you signed up for this plan, yada, yada, yada. And I'm available to start Monday at 3. What does Monday at 3 look like for you? They're going to say, good. I'm going to say, okay, check your email. You got an invoice. You can handle that? They say, yeah. I say, okay, thank you. It ain't like you knew it wasn't cheap. The energy said it wasn't cheap. You knew it was an investment. The energy said it was an investment. I ain't got it. A lot of times we try to make up with words and action what can only be made up with calibration. You trying to make it up with hard work. When if you just got calibrated, they would have knew it wasn't cheap from the beginning. They would have knew they couldn't get you to do it. Y'all, so I've been doing hypnosis for a long time. When I first got into hypnosis, I was using a lot of my hypnosis to influence people and situations. I used to run it up. Well, I used to have the women. But sometimes I'll be out at a bar and I'll walk up to a young lady. I say, hey, how you doing? And she said, I'm doing fine. It was some of her energy. I knew it didn't matter how good I looked. It didn't matter how much hypnosis I knew. It didn't matter how much I knew about the mind. The way she was calibrated, the way that she felt about herself, it wasn't nothing I can make her, it wasn't nothing I could say or do to get her to do anything she didn't want to do. So I would say, hey, you enjoy your night. I'm finna go find somebody who not calibrated. I'm finna go find some. You way too calibrated. This'll take all night and some of tomorrow night. I'm finna go find somebody just as pretty but less calibrated. Stop being the less calibrated person that people seek out because they saw somebody else and went, nah, that person calibrated. They went and found a decalibrated person and say, ooh, I'm gonna get them calibrated. How do you calibrate? You calibrate by putting your attention on stuff. So people who work with me, they calibrate through hypnosis. I hypnotize them. I put anchors on them. We rewire their subconscious mind. But you calibrate through affirmations. You calibrate through vision boards. You calibrate through scripting. If you go to the link in my bio, if you go to icoachbosses.com, there's a thing in there called the 5C Jumpstart. It's a worksheet that it runs you through to get clarity. Then it's a hypnosis audio that helps you to calibrate. It's $49.99. You calibrate through that. Calibration is the process of putting your attention on something. And calibration is the doorway to confidence. You don't force confidence. You keep calibrating until you become confident. Like, what color is this? Red. You ain't got to think about it. You ain't got to study it. You ain't got to go look it up. You know that this is red because there was a chapter in your life where somebody calibrated you that this was red. They say, what color is this? You say blue. They say, red. Say red. You say red. They say, good job. What color is this? Red, good job. What color is this? Red, good job. They kept calibrating you to eventually it was a neural network in your brain that know that this is red. You confident that this red. You ain't never read a book called How to Become Confident that red is red. You ain't never been to a workshop called How to Be Confident that red is red. But you confident that red is red because it was a chapter in your life where somebody used repetition and emotion to teach you that this was red. Focusing on trying to get out work with my business. So you got to get clear about what you want because you can't hit a target that don't exist. So the first thing you got to have is a well-formed outcome. Oh, calibrate is one of my favorite words. Like, you don't realize how many times in your life you got to calibrate. Imagine, I'll use my life. Imagine my partner come in the house and she on a different type of energy. She clearly upset. She clearly looking for a fight. And if she come in here and say something sideways to me, and if I reply under the calibration of the energy that she on, we finna fight. But if before replying, I take a second and say, well, what do I want? I want to have fun. I want to flirt. I want us at some point tonight to end up in our bedroom doing some unspeakable things. I want us to have an amazing night. I want us to have fun. I want us to laugh. I wouldn't mind watching a movie. I'm going to take just a second to get calibrated to what I want. And then I'm going to reply and say, somebody having a bad day, girl, bring your sexy ass here. What's going on with you? Come here. Who made my baby mad? Because I go shoot him right now. Who got you acting like this, baby? When I took the time to get calibrated to what I want, to put my attention on what I want, not because if I calibrate to who the fuck she thinks she talking to, I'm not the hey, don't talk to me. If I get calibrated to that, it's not finna go well for nobody in here. But if I take time to say, oh, somebody's having a rough day, I refuse to calibrate to that. I want to calibrate to fun. I want to calibrate to excitement. A question that I ask myself all the time is, who is the hypnotist in this? I'm the hypnotist in this house. You don't get to make me mad. I set the tone in here. I want this house to be playful. I want this house to be filled with love. When people open their front door, I want them to go, dang, can I move in? It feels good in here. But in order for that to happen, I got to take time to get under the influence of my own. I can't let you, just because you having a bad day, don't mean I got to calibrate to that. And in a very short period of time, she's calibrated to what I'm calibrated to. If I'm getting ready to discipline my son, let's say I'm in my office and I'm working with a client and my son teacher called. I send it to voicemail. She called right back. Now I answer the phone. I say, hello? She say, Mr. Shaw, can you please talk to Ralph? He is on one today. He's being mouthy. He's got to fight with one of his classmates, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to say, yo, put Ralph on the phone. Hey, what's your problem, man? Hey, I suggest you get right. Me and you going to talk when you get home. Don't let your teacher call me again. Pull it together. We're going to iron this out when you get home. All right, hey, you shouldn't have any more problems out of Ralph, but I'll call you. Let's get a conference on the calendar, and I hang up. Now, before I get home and talk to Ralph, I got to take time to calibrate. Because if I don't take time to calibrate, I'm going to be under the influence of I'm working, your teacher calling me, she interrupted me, and I look unprofessional because I'm having to stop what I'm doing to handle my undisciplined, unruly, unresponsible son. But to raise the type of young man I want to raise, have the result that I want to raise, I want to send Ralph to school tomorrow with an understanding of his self-worth. I want to send a young man out of this house that's confident, self-efficient, and happy. I got to take time to get under the influence of what I want. What's the outcome? Because if I just go in there to discipline, it's gonna be we can have a 20-minute conversation about how I can't work because you don't know how to act at school. When that's not really the problem. That's the presenting issue. The problem is that Ralph is off balance in some way. The problem is that for whatever reason, Ralph felt the need. I got to get under the calibration of assisting my son and getting back on track so that he can make better decisions tomorrow. And then I go talk to my son. And I'm telling you, talks that would take an hour, take 5. His mama go, you finished talking to him already? It don't take long if I calibrate before I go talk to him. But if I don't calibrate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there, unload my problems on an 11-year-old who in a completely different world, and my problems aren't his problems. My problems and me explaining my problems to him not going to influence him. It's not going to change his process. It's not going to change the way he do things. All right, and also think you into the future. Exactly. Process of thoughts that can change your behaviors for the desired result. When you got a desired result. So before you can calibrate, you got to have a desired result. So that's what that worksheet is about. That 5C Jumpstart, that $49.99 product is at the link in the bio. It's a worksheet on there that helps you get clarity. Do the worksheet first, because if you go straight to the hypnosis recording, it's nothing to calibrate to if you don't got clarity. Give you an example of how the convo would go, what convo would go, Brittany. What we talking about? What's up, Mary? How you doing? What's up, Tar? So we talked about clarity. Clarity is about getting under the influence of what I want. Redirecting your son. I mean, I can't predict the conversation, but I can tell you how it's not gonna go. It's not gonna go me going in there. So I'm trying to work, right? And your teacher calling me, and I look crazy because I gotta wrap up my thing with my client, and I gotta go in the hallway to talk to your teacher because you don't know how to act. I'm at work trying to put a roof over your head. That's not the conversation I need to be having with Ralph. Conversation I need to be having with Ralph is, man, what was going on today at class? Your teacher said you was having a rough day. Talk to me. So, okay, and why did you feel the need to do that? You were angry. Okay, what? Like, I need to be figuring out the pattern that was being ran to get to this point. Why is your teacher? Why is your teacher having to tell you things more than once, man? Did you hear it the first time? Okay, well, if you heard it the first time, what was the problem? What's going on? Talk to me. I promise I'm listening. Big up. I almost gave you the wrong website. iCoachBosses.com, or you can go to the link in my TikTok bio, but iCoachBosses.com. I got the mirror image on. I might got the mirror image off. There you go. But iCoachBosses.com. That'll take you to that. But yeah, we trying to get understanding. But if I'm under the influence of, because I'm human. My initial, I'm under the, when that first happened, I'm under the influence of, I'm trying to work. Your teacher's interrupting me because you don't know how to act. I can remember one time I was sitting on the balcony and my daughter came outside visually pissed off. And I go, what's wrong with you, baby? She goes, mommy made me mad. I said, oh shit. I say, what's wrong? We had went swimming the day before, and my daughter got really thick hair. When she goes swimming, her hair is whoo. So her best friend had came and knocked on the door, and she asked, could Riley go outside? And before Riley could say anything, her mom say, you're not going anywhere with your hair looking like that. And then her mom told her friend, go on, and her mom shut the door. And I say, let me ask you something. Did mommy make you mad, or did mommy embarrass you in front of your friend? She thought about it for a minute. She said, she embarrassed me in front of my friend. Why would she say that in front of her? She could have just said I couldn't go. She didn't have to. I say, go tell mom that she embarrassed you in front of your friend. And I bet y'all can figure it out. Because if you go in the house and tell your mama she pissed you off, you finna have a real interesting weekend. It's not gonna be the weekend you want. But if you go in the house and you tell your mom that she embarrassed you in front of your friend, I bet y'all can get on the same page. So they had that talk. Riley came outside like 5 minutes later, as happy as a kite. But what we did is we got her under the influence. We got her calibrated to what really happened. Anger is a secondary emotion. It's always something else that happens before you get angry. You don't just get angry. You felt embarrassed. You felt unheard. You felt unincluded. You felt something. Then as a result of feeling that something, you got angry. But it was something else that happened. But so when you go in there calibrated to the anger, you're not even really talking about the real issue. You calibrated to some shit that you calibrate it to a defense mechanism, really, when we really get into it. Anger is a defense because it feels better to feel angry than to feel vulnerable. So you just stepped up the emotional scale a little bit to anger when the real problem was down below anger. But getting her calibrated to her embarrassment put her in a place that when she go talk to her mom, there's what's the word I'm looking for? There is I can't find the word I'm looking for right now. It'll come to me. But there's this softness in her voice. There's this child calling out to one of her protectors to help her. There's this not anger, but there's this need in her voice. There's this when she connected to what's the word I'm looking for? Because one word will tie all of this together. Vulnerability. There we go. I like you. Good job. Appreciate you. There's this vulnerability in her voice. And people got to understand, man, vulnerability is one of the most influential things in your toolbox. I can remember one time, I got a lot of stories for y'all today. I remember one time, Riley's mom, back when we were married, she was really upset one day. She goes, how is it that Riley can call you while you at the office and she could say that she wants to see you at the house and within an hour you at the house, but when I call you and make it and tell you that we need you to come to the house, it might be 3 or 4 hours later before we see you. Riley is my daughter, and Riley calls me with vulnerability. Vulnerability is very disarming. Riley would call me and say, Daddy, you were gone when I woke up for school this morning, and my bedtime is in like 3 hours, and I haven't saw you today. I really want to see you before I go to bed. That's what am I going to do? Say, all right, baby, I don't care. Good night. This is my daughter I'm talking about, and she has called me. She didn't call me and say, you apparently you don't care about this family, yada 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 yada. If I got the option between hanging out in my office where people pay a lot of money to hear what I think versus going home and arguing, I'm gonna pick sitting in my office. But if my daughter just calls and say, Daddy, I haven't saw you all day and I miss you. And she didn't tell me what to do. She just was vulnerable with me, told me what she was experiencing. I arrived at my own conclusion that the rest of this could wait till tomorrow. I'm finna go home and be with my baby girl. But it was in that moment when I realized, man, vulnerability is powerful. And a lot of times when people talk to their partners, they leave out the vulnerability. They'll be vulnerable with their best friend. They'll be vulnerable with their spiritual advisor. They'll be vulnerable with their therapist. But with the person that they really have no, like, you leave all the vulnerability out when you talking to the person who you need it with the most. Yeah, vulnerability, it lets down the guard. Vulnerability opens up the critical mind. Vulnerability lowers the other person's need to defense. They don't need the defense. So use vulnerability when you talking to the people you love. Don't turn off. Don't be afraid to use vulnerability. It's very hypnotic. It's very, very, very hypnotic. You don't be afraid to use it. It's one of the most influential tools in your toolbox. Don't abuse it, because you can easily abuse vulnerability, especially if you know how. But use it when necessary. So we done talked about clarity. We all over the place today. We done talked about clarity. We talked about calibration. Now, if you just keep calibrating, guess what happened? You're gonna accidentally become confident. That's the third C, confident. Confidence is the goal. I want to get clear. I want to get calibrated, and I'm gonna keep calibrating until I accidentally become confident. Yeah, let's pin that to the top. Okay. Now, confidence is a superpower. Confidence is where real magic starts to happen. Let me tell you something. One clear, calibrated, confident person will outwork thousands of unclear, uncalibrated, unconfident people. One clear, calibrated, confident person will outwork thousands of unclear, uncalibrated, unconfident people. You do yourself a major service when you take the time to figure out what you want, get calibrated to what you want, and then become confident in what you want. And then you move to step 4, which is competence. Step 4 is step 4. Step 4 is not step 1. Step 4 is step 4. Okay? We don't take action until we become clear, calibrated, and confident. Man, I tried entrepreneurship. It just won't work for me, bro. Nobody was going to my website. I went to this networking event. Nobody was talking to. Let me tell you something. If you unclear, uncalibrated, and unconfident, why would I talk to you? If you unclear, uncalibrated, and unconfident, guess what? That website gonna feel confusing, disorganized, and unconfident. I'm not buying anything on that website. If you came to me and said, hey, Coach J, I want to lose 100 pounds, I'm going to say, dope, let's do it. What size shirt you want to wear? Well, Jay, I said I want to lose 100 pounds. Shut up. What size shirt you want to wear? Let's get clear about what you want. What size jeans you want to wear? Okay, great. What size dress you want to wear? What's that one store that you really want to shop at, but right now they just don't sell clothes for people with your body frame, but you got a new body frame loading. What new stores you finna be shopping at? Okay, cool. You got a scale in your bathroom at home? What does it look like? Describe it to me. Okay, it's a clear scale with some silver strips on it. A little red digital panel with the letters. Okay, I want you to imagine standing on that scale and tell me what number you see. 245. What number do you see? 164. Oh, dope. And as you look at that scale and you see 164, now we calibrate. How does that feel seeing that number on that scale? Watch how their shoulders naturally go back. Watch how they naturally start feeling sexy. Watch how they naturally. I do this. Watch how I had a lot of people tell me about their scales. I know all the scales, but the process don't change in any section. I got to get them clear about what they want. Then I get them clear in what they want. Now we got to calibrate to what you want. Okay, now I want you to imagine that you're standing on this scale and your husband just walked in the room and he looking at you. How is he looking at you? Describe how he looking at you. Oh, he biting his lip. What that mean? Oh, okay. What do you do in response to that? Oh, now you buying your, okay, now the story getting a little X-rated. We're going to cut it off. But what I'm doing is I'm getting you calibrated to this world that don't even physically exist yet. But I've told you, we got to hold it in your head before you can hold it in your hands. If I don't ever get you to hold it in your head, you'll never get to the point where you can hold it in your hands. But I'm getting you clear. All right, while we're here, tell me some healthy foods that you actually enjoy eating. Oh, you love apples. Okay, you love cherries. You like spinach. Okay, good, good, good. What are some other healthy foods that you enjoy eating? Okay. What are some foods that may not be the healthiest, but you absolutely love? You love chocolate. You love chocolate. Cool. Okay. What does it look like making your diet 80% some of that stuff we was just talking about and 20% chocolate? Can you imagine a world where you could do that easily? Okay. Cool. I'm getting you calibrated. I'm gonna keep calibrating you till you become confident that it's possible. Now, once you clear, calibrated, and confident, and I say, all right, competent, step 4, I want you to start going to the gym 3 times a week. When you clear, calibrated, and confident, watch how much easier it is for you to go to the gym 3 times a week. But if I started with, hey, we're going to go to the gym 3 times a week without taking time to get you clear, calibrated, and confident, you would say yes, but you wouldn't do it. If I say, hey, it's time for us to cut back on these carbs without getting you clear, calibrated, and confident, you're going to say yeah, but you're not going to do it. So I'm not saying go to the gym. I'm not saying don't go to the gym. I'm saying get clear, calibrated, and confident, and then go to the gym. What is the gym? Competence. Step 4. I'm not saying don't go back to school. I'm saying get clear, calibrated, and confident, then competence, then go back to school. I'm not saying that you can't never date again after your divorce. I'm saying get clear about what you want in a relationship, get calibrated to what you want your next relationship to look and feel like, and keep calibrating until you become confident in what you want that to look like, and then start back dating. See what I'm saying? Get clear, get calibrated, get confident, then take action. You could build a website, but get clear, get calibrated, get confident, then build a website. Do the business plan, but get clear, get calibrated, get confident, and then build a business plan. I've been back in the gym for about 7 or 8 months now, but I spent probably 45 days just calibrating before I stepped foot into the gym. I spent about 45 days calibrating. So I had moved from Washington State down to Dallas, Texas, and I was rebuilding my practice. So I was pretty much starting from ground zero. I put all of my energy into rebuilding my practice. And one day I was getting out of the shower. I said, what the hell is this? Right away, I started calibrating. Man, okay. Oh, okay. I got a meeting in not too long. But I started calibrating. I got clear about what I want. And when you calibrate, you got to talk about what you really want. I'll give you a pro tip. The subconscious mind runs off feeling and emotion. The conscious mind runs off logic, reason, analysis, willpower, and decision making. The subconscious mind runs off feeling and emotion. The subconscious mind is 98% of your thinking potential. Let's talk about the subconscious mind. You ever been in a situation where you don't want to cry, but you notice something comes into your experience, and your subconscious mind say, hey, it's time to cry. The conscious mind say, no, not right now. There's people here. No, I don't want to cry right now. Subconscious mind say, hey, I said it's time to cry. And when the subconscious mind say it's time to cry, ain't nothing you can do about it. Let's talk about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, let's say you at a funeral, and the subconscious mind goes, that's funny. That's hilarious. And you say, hold on, I can't laugh right now. If the subconscious mind say it's time to laugh, it ain't nothing you can do about it. It's time to laugh. So calibration is largely about, you got a desire in the conscious mind, but you got to get the subconscious mind involved. The conscious mind runs off logic, reason, analysis, and willpower. Okay? That's the conscious mind. The subconscious mind runs off feeling and emotion. So when it was time to convince my subconscious mind to go to the gym, I wasn't talking about blood pressure. Okay, serious. Thank you. But when I first started like wanting to go to the gym, I wasn't talking about blood pressure. I wasn't talking about glucose and A1C. My subconscious mind don't give a damn about that. Guess what kind of type of stuff gonna get my subconscious mind to want to go to the gym? I want to look good naked. I want stamina for adult activities. I want to be able to beat my son in a race for another 10 years. I want to be able to beat my son in a race 10 years from now. My subconscious is going to be activated by these petty base level desires to get what I want. I want to, I want stamina in the bedroom. I want to look good naked. I want to be at the beach with my shirt off. I feel like if I'm going to be on stages telling people they can be, do, and have anything they desire, I should probably look like I could be, do, and have anything I desire. I'm going to use emotion to convince my subconscious mind. Look at Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali didn't go, I'm a fast boxer. I'm a really good boxer. I'm great at boxing. When I'm 25 years old, ain't a scratch on my face. I'm pretty. I'm so pretty. I'm so fast. Last night I cut off the light and I was in bed before the room was even dark. I'm pretty. I'm so pretty. I flow like a butterfly. I sting like a bee. The hands can't touch what the eyes can't see. I'm like, he's using metaphor. He's using his emotion. He's using his whole body. You don't do an affirmation. You got to become the affirmation. Definitely, Muhammad Ali worked with a hypnotist. In fact, the first person who ever beat Muhammad Ali was working with a hypnotist. Mike Tyson worked with a hypnotist. Kobe Bryant used to work with a hypnotist. Wayne Gretzky worked with a hypnotist. All types of, man, you'll be surprised with the people who've come before me for like things like help them with artist development and stage presence. You don't, man, successful people understand that they're not special. You just need a successful strategy. But back to the 5 C's: clarity, calibration, confidence, then competence. The last C is consistency. The last C is consistency. Consistency is the glue that holds it together. You don't get clarity once, you're going to be getting clarity for the rest of your life. You don't calibrate once, you're going to be... I calibrate several times a day. But the more I calibrate, guess what? The more confident I get. And I'm not in here purposely becoming confident. I just keep calibrating. I keep reading books. I keep going to conferences. I keep learning about this information. I keep falling deeper in love with what I do. I keep calibrating. I keep seeing results. So, man, the mind really is powerful. Is this thing doing a countdown? My phone keep telling me what time it is. But I keep calibrating. The more I calibrate, the more confident that I get. But I don't want you calibrating to become confident. I want you calibrating because you feel good when you calibrate it. I want you to calibrate because it feels good to calibrate. I want you to allow feeling good to become your excuse for feeling. Why you feeling so good? I feel good because I like the way I feel when I feel good. I feel good because I feel better when I feel good than I feel when I feel bad. So I choose to feel good. I want you to not feel good as an ends to a mean. I don't want you calibrating as a means to an end. I want you calibrating because you like the way you feel when you calibrate. And when you feel good, you do everything better. When you feel good, not only do you do yourself a favor, you do everybody else around you a favor. When I feel good, my kids get a better father. My mom get a better son. My grandma get a better grandson. My neighbor gets a better neighbor. My sister get a better big brother. My cousins get a better cousin. Everybody around me gets a better version of me when I'm taking the time to calibrate and I feel good. Because when I don't feel good, I'll be honest, I'm an asshole when I don't feel good. But when I take that time to calibrate, oh man, I give you the shirt off my back when I'm calibrated. When I'm not calibrated, please leave me alone. It's taking everything I got to be nice to you. Let me calibrate and we'll come back and try this again. Yeah, you are what you take in through that mind, the books, the programs, the podcasts. And let's not forget, guys, eating and staying hydrated, having some protein in their body is a big part of mental health. Like my clients, we getting, what are you eating? Wait a minute. So you're running off caffeine and carbs and you expecting to be a high performer? You ain't got no protein in your diet. You running off of coffee and bagels and you think you're going to feel good? Knock it off, man. Well, last time you had some water. You ain't had a bottle of water this week and you expecting to feel good? Knock it off, man. Come on, that's silly. It's not that you can't do it. If you could think it, you could do it. But we spiritual beings, but in this physical experience, there's some boxes that got to be checked to get the results that you want. But let's run through these 5 C's again real quick before we land this plane. Get clear about what you want, and we're getting ready to land soon. So if you got questions, go ahead and start getting those in the chat, and I'll run through those real quick too. But get clear about what you want. That's what clarity is all about. After you get clear about what you want, calibrate to what you want. Think about what you want. Put your attention on what you want. After you keep putting your attention on it, you're going to accidentally become confident. Once you become confident, now it's time to start doing the doing. Don't do the doing before you do the becoming. Become, be, do, have. Before you can have that result, there's some things that you got to do. But before you can do those things, it's a version of yourself that got to become. Not too long ago, I saw a quote that said, "It didn't take me a long time to build a successful business. It took me a long time to become the version of myself that could." Let that sink in. It don't take a long time to build a successful business. What takes the time is you becoming the version of yourself that's up for the challenge. You becoming the version of yourself that ain't gonna quit every time it get just a little bit uncomfortable. But that's what those first few C's are about. You can't hit a target that don't exist, so you got to get clear about what you want. Don't be like most of the world. Most of the world, and when I say most, I'm talking about 98%. Most of the world, they know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. Most of the world, like, how foolish would it be for you to walk into a buffet? Like, any food you could think of is in this buffet, but you find the one food that you don't like and you just staring at it. Why y'all got liver and onions in here? I don't like that. Y'all need to get that out of here. What's your favorite food? I like steak. Oh, sir, we got steak over there. Yeah, but I don't like this liver and onions. Why y'all got it in here? If you don't like it, stop looking at it. Stop it. It's steak in here. It's pizza in here. It's chicken strips in here. Can y'all tell I got the palate of a 12-year-old? Look at the look at the foods I'm naming. It's lemon pepper wings in here, and you staring at the liver and onions that you don't like. So I got to tell you how I came up with the 5 C's. I came up with the 5 C's. Has it been 10 years? I don't think it's been quite 10 years. Maybe about 7. But I started getting jealous of my clients because my clients were getting phenomenal results. And not to brag, but I was the common denominator. I'm like, damn, these people they leveling up, and they leveling up big. I got to get a session with me. So I started putting myself on my schedule. Every Wednesday at 10 a.m. was my time for self-development. Every Wednesday, 6 a.m. I mean, not 6 a.m. Every Wednesday, 10 a.m., I would get on my schedule and I would work on me. But then I ran into a problem. I didn't know how to turn my process inward. I knew how to turn it outward. I've been doing this since I was 14. But I didn't know how to do what I do on me. So I started recording my sessions. I started recording every session. And what I would do is I would spend my drive home and my weekends listening to my sessions and taking notes. And I realized it was 5 things I did in every session. I don't care if it was a quit smoking session, a weight loss session, PTSD, I want to be more confident, imposter syndrome. I always did 5 things. I got clear about what they wanted. People always come to me with what they don't want. I don't want to keep smoking. I don't want to be afraid of heights. I don't want to be afraid of spiders. My first job was always to get clear about what you want. Okay, you don't want to be afraid of spiders. What do you want? And people go, I just told you. No, you didn't tell me. You told me what you didn't want. What do you want? Do you want to be humored by spiders? Do you want spiders to become hilarious to you? Do you want spiders to become a non-factor to you? Do you want to kill the spider? Do you want to let the spider out? What do you want to happen when you encounter spiders? You're not telling me what you want by telling me what you don't want. It's a nuance. What do you want? First thing I always did is got clear about what they want. My doctor said if I don't quit smoking, hey, I don't care what your doctor said. What do you want? Well, my wife said, hey, I don't care what your wife said. What do you want? That was the first thing I noticed as I was listening to these recordings. My first concern is always, what do they want? Not what you don't want. I don't care how long you've been battling depression, how long you've been battling the anxiety. I really don't need the backstory. You can tell me if it'll help you feel better, but don't need it. What do you want? Okay, and after I knew what they wanted, we'll move down to the second C. We would start getting them calibrated to what they want. When people work with me, I would use hypnosis to calibrate to them to what they want. Take a deep breath in, relax, close your eyes. Listen to my voice with your eyes closed, yada, 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 yada. I want you to imagine yourself seeing a spider, and you can find the humor in it. As you look at it, you notice it's kind of cute. Count those legs on that spider. Nod your head out. You count those legs on that spider. Yada, yada, yada. And I would get them calibrated to what they want. I would get them calibrated to the experience that they want to have with spiders. The subconscious mind, it learns through repetition and emotion. Keep putting them through situations with repetition and emotion. And emotion, and emotion. Keep doing it, and it's all types of tricks. Play it backwards, play it reverse, scramble it, yada, yada, yada. But we would hypnotize them to get them calibrated. Okay, that's calibration. Then I would keep calibrating. I wouldn't call you a non-smoker once. I wouldn't call you a non-smoker twice. In a non-smoker session, I might refer to you as a non-smoker well over 200 times. And I'm doing it in all sorts of ways. Now that you are a non-smoker, what are you doing with all that extra money? Now that you're finished sucking poison through a straw and you're going to be around us, take time with your children, what are you adding to your bucket list? I would keep calling them a non-smoker in a serious way. So that's calibrating. I would keep calibrating until they became confident in the calibration. Keep calibrating until they became confident in the calibration. After confidence, competence. Now, from this day forward, stop hypnotizing you. So what people got to understand about hypnosis is you go into hypnosis at least 7 times a day. You go into hypnosis at least 7 times a day. Driving down the road, zone out, miss your exit, hypnosis. On the phone with your friend, it's been an hour, girl, I gotta go, I got stuff to do, hypnosis. Intercourse, ain't nothing getting hard, ain't nothing getting wet until somebody get hypnotized. Hypnosis. I remember a friend of mine asked me a long time ago. He said, "Man, you ever use hypnosis to get people to get women to have sex with you?" I say, "Zach, please don't tell me you out here doing that without using hypnosis. That they got a word for that, bro. And I can't be friends with nobody who have an intercourse without hypnosis. Foreplay is what we call a hypnotic induction. It's hypnosis. Hypnosis is a 3-step process. Get the attention, bypass the critical mind, stimulate the subconscious. If I give you some roses and you say, "Oh, you made my day," I just got your attention, bypass your critical mind, stimulated your subconscious. I did something, you processed it, you feel different. If I call you out of your name, if I say you stupid, bitch, and you get offended, I just hypnotized you. I said something, you processed it, you feel different. That's hypnosis. So if you've been sitting in this live and you've been listening to what I'm saying, you say, "Man, these 5 C's make sense. Oh man, I seen a situation last week where calibration really would have helped me. Oh man, I'm doing that next time." I just hypnotized you. I said something, you processed it, you feel different. I can remember some years ago, I went with another hypnotist named Emerge McVeigh, and we went and did a comedy hypnosis show with a comedian named Speedy and some other hypnotists. And Speedy was the host, and he came out and he was warming the crowd up. Hypnosis is action and reaction. I look at hypnosis like a doctor checking your reflexes. If a physician who knows what he's doing knows exactly where to tap your knee, if he taps it, it's gonna kick out. Did he do magic? No, he knows exactly where to tap your knee to make it do this thing that it's supposed to do. Now, if he tap your knee there and it don't kick out, you got a problem. You need his help more than you thought you did. Like if I'm doing the things that I know are supposed to work to hypnotize you and they don't work, oh man, you need my help more. I'm so glad you showed up because you're broken. If you can't watch a funny movie and laugh, that's a problem. If you can't watch a sad movie and feel sadness, that's a problem. If you can't watch an erotic movie and get aroused, that's a problem. Humans are naturally suggestible. And the smarter you are, the more suggestible you are. A lot of times people say, "Man, I'm too smart. That ain't gonna work on me, man." Smart. I hate hypnotizing dumb people. It's so much work. Their vocabulary is thin. You gotta, all right, what's the simplest way to say this? What's the smallest words possible? Hypnotizing not so smart people is a chore. But yeah, hypnosis is everywhere. TikTok, man, this app is so hypnotic. It's a reason those gifs so big and pretty. It don't just say +1, +2. They give you graphics and even the colors that they use and that timeline, that For You page. I know hypnosis when I see hypnosis. hypnosis is everywhere. Y'all don't understand the things that we get consulted for as hypnotists. We help people with the layout of stores. It's like if you go into, I ain't gonna say any store of America, but any store to know what they doing, the fruity candy, like the Starburst and things like that, gonna be eye level with the children, while the chocolate, the Reese's, the Hershey's gonna be eye level with the adults. Yeah, those Coca-Colas, they $3 for the pack, but we're gonna put them all the way at the back of the store, so you gotta pass by the batteries, the butter, and the shirts, and the pants, and you came in to grab those $3 Cokes, but you finna leave with $100 worth of stuff. The colors. It's a reason why people will go to Target and pay 15 to 25% more for the same stuff that they can go to Walmart and get, but the aisles at Target are wider, the lights are brighter. The employees got on red shirts and they a little bit friendlier because they get paid just a little bit better. Yeah, that's hypnosis. The stuff that hypnotists get their hands in would amaze you. Yep. And another thing that we do is hypnotist. So everybody's hypnotist. Everybody is a hypnotist. I say y'all hypnotist with a lowercase h. I'm a hypnotist with a big H, because we do things like we study what's naturally working. Like if I go downtown to hypnotize people and somebody say, "Man, I don't feel like that's gonna work on me," I'm gonna say, "Oh, he didn't say he don't think that will work on him. He didn't say that don't sound like it'll work on him. He didn't say he don't see that working on him. He said he don't feel like that will work on him." Interesting. He's a filler. Like you don't understand the leverage. Okay, you a filler. Interesting. Okay, shake my hand. Let me give you something to fix. Sleep all the way down. Deeper sleep. The deeper you go, the better you feel. That's it. Out like a light, my little filler. But if he would have said, I don't see that working on me, I would have took a completely different approach. But people are already hypnotizable. You just got to figure out what hypnotize. Are you moved by what you see? Are you moved by what you hear? Are you moved by what you feel? Are you moved by what you taste? So a hypnotist is a person who's really good at sitting down and noticing how you create reality. Like if you came to me and say, "Man, I just feel like I can't get a handle on life." It's always something pulling me back. Every time I take one step forward, it's like life just pushed me 2 steps back, man. It's like an elephant is sitting on my shoulders. That's a kinesthetic person. This is a person who experiences problems through their body. So if I'm going to help him fix this, I got to get him out of his body for a second. Okay, so you feel like it's an elephant sitting on your shoulders, and every time you take 2 steps back, you feel like life push you back 3 or 4 steps. Man, that must be churches for you. That must be heavy. Because a lot of people gonna talk to you in your system. And be like, "Man, so what does a solution look like?" You talk to, what do you mean? What does it look like? He telling you how he feel. He talking about, so what does a solution look like? And I'm gonna stay in his system with him, man. That must be really weighing you down. Tell me more about that. Yep. So what would it feel like if we took just one of those elephants off of your shoulder? And that's out of hypnosis, that question makes no sense. But in what we call trance logic, like, man, it'll feel like, now he finna start describing his own solution. It'll feel like I could do anything. I would say, so just by taking one of the elements off your shoulder, you'll feel like you could do anything. So you can handle one elephant. It's just when there's one on both shoulders, you don't know what to do. He go, "Yeah, I never thought about it like that. I guess." I'm like, "Yeah, man." But you really start to see how they describe problems, and you hang out with them in that system. And one of the things that you realize is people aren't broken. They just calibrated to what they don't want. Your job is really to help them calibrate to what they're not stupid. They don't need you to think for them. Nobody has ever come to me and say, "Jay, I don't know what to do. Can you teach me how to?" They need help calibrating. The problem is they don't feel like they can do it. It's not they don't know what to do. If you want to lose weight, you need to move your body more, drink more water, eat less carbs. You know what to do. Problem is you don't feel like doing it. Or the problem is you feel like even if you do it, it's never going to work. You don't need me to tell you what to do. You need me to help you feel like you can do it. Once you feel like you can do it, you like, "All right, Jay, see you later. I'm out of here." You just need to get clear, calibrated, and confident. Then do what you already know to do, because you already know what to do. Then consistency. Yeah, they know what to do. And that's the thing. If you just get started, to get it done. They know what to do. They just don't feel like when people say, "I'm procrastinating." Procrastination is never the problem. It's always a symptom. People procrastinate for one of two reasons. Either they don't want it. They think they want it because marketers have told them they want it. The culture around it has told them they want it. They see everybody else on TikTok and the different social media apps with it. So they think they want it, but they don't really want it. And if they really want it, but they still not taking action, I mean, they don't think they can have it. Because if you want something and you think you can have it, you're going to go for it. Now, if you want something and you don't think you can have it, you probably won't go for it. Say, "Excuse you said it. Why I gotta say it?" And even that's what we call conditioning. Like your parents start hypnotizing you really early on. And that's another thing that we look at as hypnotists. I'm trying to figure out, how did your mom talk to you between the ages of 0 and 8? How did your mom talk to you between the ages of 0 and 8? If I figure that out, oh man, you'll be surprised how we can start altering your reality really quickly. But that's it. So guys, if you want help with clarity, calibration, and confidence, that 5C Jumpstart is at icoachbosses.com. It's like the second thing down. If you scroll down, oh man. So I used to play, I grew up playing piano in the church. I've been playing piano since I was about in the fourth grade. Church is so hypnotic. Church is so hypnotic. It was a time where I would be playing for like three churches at once. So I have like three different places I need to be on Sundays at different times. And man, I'm at the piano. So I would start playing music that represented wrap it up. And the pastor would go, oh, the spirit is moving in here. It's time to wrap it up. Yeah, yep, it really is time to wrap it up. Come on, off the call. Let's go. I gotta be out of here in 15 minutes. Right. But think about it. When you pray, what you gonna do? Close your eyes. When you meditate, what you gonna do? Close your eyes. When I hypnotize you, what's one of the first things I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just allow those eyes to close. That's right. And with those eyes closed, I want you to listen to my voice. Listen to my voice. And as you listen to my voice, I want you to imagine and pretend every word that I say just allows you to relax deeper. But I'm gonna have you to close your eyes. And the reason I'm having you close your eyes, because I want you to take your attention off of what is so we can create something new. It's hard to change what is when you're focused on it. It's hard to change what is when you're undivided attention on it. It's hard to let go and let God when you're staring at the problem. You got to get from under the influence of the problem and get under the influence of God. That's why the Bible say, don't be conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Stop looking at that. Close your eyes. Stop letting that hypnotize you. Close your eyes. Take your attention off of that so that you can start to, in the beginning, it was black, void, and without form. And God starts literally using his words. Like God put so much game in Genesis. It's like he wink at you and go, yo, even if you don't finish the whole book, if you just can read this first page of Genesis, you're going to understand creation. You're going to understand how to create. Like it's so much game just in that first. It was black, void, and without form, and God started using his words to create what he wanted. Close your eyes and tell me what you see. Black, void, without form. And from that black, void, formless place, start using your words. And don't move on to the next thing until you notice that the first thing is good. But yep. And I got the luxury of like growing up in church, being raised in church, and understanding hypnosis at a really deep level. When you really understand hypnosis and you understand what hypnosis is and what hypnosis isn't, because most people who tell you what hypnosis is, they don't know a damn thing about hypnosis. They're a movie producer. They're a fiction writer. They haven't studied hypnosis in depth. But really understanding when you understand what hypnosis is, you quickly understand that Jesus is the greatest hypnotist to ever live. Stand up and walk. Like I'm not. He doesn't negotiate with it. Jesus never once in the Bible asks people what's wrong. How long have you been feeling it? He see you as God see you, and in a very super suggestible, super powerful, super demanding way, no doubt in his voice, issues a suggestion, and you take it. And his faith in what he said is so strong that even if you got doubt, his faith strong enough for you to latch onto and be healed. That's hypnosis if I ever saw it. Even when he healed the blind man, he said, don't go back into the city, go that way. Because he knows that if he go back into the city, they're going to say, what? He's spinning your eye now you can see. Man, they're going to talk him right out of his healing. Even though Jesus did it, a regular person can use their words to undo what Jesus did. He had that understand. Don't go over there. Go this way. They're going to talk you out of your healing. I just calibrated you. And you ain't confident in it yet. You still wrapping your mind around. If you go over there unconfident, they going to decalibrate you. You can go back one day, but you can't be still calibrating when you go back over there with those people. Don't go back over there until you finish calibrating. Oh, he definitely was, especially towards the end when he knew he was getting ready to get up out of here. Jesus was getting so aggravated with the disciples. The Bible, one of my favorite books. He was getting so, ye lack faith. Like, you didn't see me walk on the water. You didn't see me turn the, like, bro, you was there when I did it. Why do you, he was getting so frustrated with them. Yeah. John opens up. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. Like, the Bible is, time and time again, the Bible's telling you the power of words. Over and over again, the Bible is telling you the power of your words. Use them correctly. And a hypnotist is a person that dedicates hours and hours of study to how to use words to have the effect that they want. The effect that words have on your nervous system, the effect that words have on your endocrine system. Humans are naturally suggestible. Humans are people who learn how to utilize that natural suggestibility to achieve results. Now, you got good hypnotists, you got bad hypnotists, just like you got good and bad everything else. So I'm not saying hypnosis can't be dangerous. I'm just saying hypnosis in itself isn't dangerous. So, because I would be setting you up for failure if I told you hypnosis not hypnosis just like a gun. You can use it to defend your house. You can use it to go murder innocent people. It's a tool. Now, who's using the tool? That's what's going to depend whether it's dangerous or not. But yo, I gotta land. I got a meeting starting in about 30 minutes here. And I need to make me some tea because I didn't use up a lot of voice and I still got to be able to talk. So people who, like I say, if you want the 5C Jumpstart, go to icoachbosses.com. Scroll down to that second thing. You're going to see the 5C Jumpstart. Also, people who interested in working with me one-on-one, if you scroll down to the very bottom, you'll see a button to say apply to work with Coach J or something like that. Or you could just inbox me, hey, coach, and we could talk about what that look like. But yo, I love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all could do about it. The Garden Within is a book explaining your reference of body equating to the nervous system. For sure. For sure, for sure. And we'll talk about states of being and like how to purposely alter the nervous system and the endocrine system and all this stuff next time. But yo, we're about to land. But yo, love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Oh, and people who buy the 5C Jumpstart, you get access to the Zoom meetings that we do on Thursdays. And in those Zoom meetings, you on there with me, you can unmute, you can talk. And that's where we really get into the deeper nuances of the 5C. That's where we talk about strategies for calibrating. Because I don't got time to get into calibrating on TikTok because if you're visual, you calibrate one way. If you're kinesthetic, you calibrate another way. But in those Zoom meetings, people get to ask real specific questions about, okay, like I'm trying to get my marriage back on track, but every time I get calibrated, it's like me and my wife start arguing. How do I stay calibrated during an argument? We can have those type of discussions on Zoom. On TikTok, I kind of teach 5C in this umbrella top-down approach. In those zones, people come up, get in the hot seat, and we get real specific. We get real hands-on, and we really pick it apart. But yo, love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all could do about it. I'm wrapping up. Go to icoachbosses.com. If you want access to the community or you just want the 5C Jumpstart, you get both when you purchase the Jumpstart. It's $49.99. Love y'all. See y'all next time.